All right, thanks again, Anna. You know, it's always great when we can get insight into the way we think and the way we feel. So we're here this morning with clinical and forensic psychologist, Dr. Daniela Schreier. Doctor, nice to see you again this morning.
It's always my pleasure to be with you.
So let's try and understand our reaction, the gut punch, if you will, that so many viewers are having this morning to the news that James Gandolfini died yesterday at age 51. Why the strong reaction for someone a lot of people certainly never knew in person?
Life is very fragile, isn't it? He was only 51. We learned from Sex and the City that that's the new 30s. For us, this is a man in his prime. Also, remember, he was in Rome. He died in Rome. What of all places would you choose if you could? We also heard that he died actually from a cardiac arrest in front of his son. That's another tragic event, right? You have children witnessing you going away. He was also such a sign of life. Not only was he kind of the mafia mobster boss that we all knew, he did a lot of work in documentaries for the veterans. So there's a totally different community also related to him. And whenever a figure that is in the public eye dies, I think for us it becomes very, very clear that our life has to end, and it can go very quickly. And we generally live as there would be no ending to it.
You know, is another aspect of his death and mourning his death for the general public that we very much identified with his character, with this role as a mafia boss. It was very much ingrained in our culture over the last, I don't know, 10 years. I can't remember, since that program began on HBO. What is it about our fascination with these characters, like these mafia associates?
Dave, he was the modern day godfather. And everything fell into place. Before we knew blood was thicker than water, but in his story we saw already the family didn't totally fall into place. He has marital issues, he had issues with his kids. He had this tough side that we all have, but we never show because it would not be socially acceptable. Sometimes don't we all feel like, I want to take the law in my own hands, I want what I want? And he had that quality, so we lived that a little bit through him. But he also had that softer side. He went to see a psychologist. He knew that he has flaws or had flaws, so he was profoundly human, and I think that was drawing us to him.
I spoke to a friend last night, and she said, you know, I never have this reaction. And we've lost several celebrities already during this year, 2013, but she related to him on a particularly personal level. Do you find this completely normal behavior?
Normal behavior, you know, there are some people that we relate to more than others. He was a character that was not bigger than life. He was just like us in some ways. Look at him. He was not a particularly outstandingly attractive or handsome guy. He was the guy next door. And he lived the problems that we are living, even so he was, you know, in a big TV show. And I think this is why people related to him very much.
Doctor, thanks for bringing it all down to a base psychological level that we can all take away and understand. And hopefully we learned a little bit more about ourselves this morning. Thanks for being here again.
Thank you.
You bet.